Hey guys, my name is Mayuresh and welcome once again to another episode of Career Fitness. So these are really short mini episodes of advice for 6 to 14 years experience bracket folks who are essentially looking at some sort of a job change or doing some sort of an interview prep or who want to meaningfully pivot their careers. What we do is we take one question per episode. The question for today is, what does success mean to you? This question does come across in different ways, different formats. It might be phrased a little differently in different interviews. Most likely, this will come at a stage when you're either talking to the HR or you're talking to the founder or you're maybe talking to a key business sponsor for the position if it is something which is mid-senior or definitely senior, even at a leadership level. So just to be again very clear, this is not a question which is terribly popular. It's slightly abstract, but it does come up. It's not a very popular question, but it does come up. And more importantly, it is absolutely necessary that you have a version of an answer ready for you, for yourself, more than anyone else. So that's the key objective that we want to achieve over here. So again, the question is, what does success mean to you? And let's go about structuring the answer. So the key thing to note over here is that if you're in your early 20s, late 20s, or maybe your early 30s, depending on the stage in your life, in your career, the answer will definitely vary. Very early in your career, it is basically the size of paycheck, and that may be a very simple definition. At somewhere down the line, 10 years down the line, it might be a mix of your compensation and designation, so on and so forth. So people do choose to quantify success in different ways over a period of time. So the key to answer some of these questions, to structure it, is to make sure that you have a very holistic, well-rounded definition. And by that I mean you bring in elements of job-related success, of your family, friends, health, all of these things in right proportions. And again, I'm encouraging at this point in time for you to think for yourself. How do you want to even start answering this question for yourself genuinely, not just in front of people? So that's the key thing over here. So have a very holistic kind of a thing. But when you are in an interview setting, you're talking with the person, you want to stay more and more with the business side. Yes, bringing in the personal aspects, bringing in that vulnerability, bringing in the whole person, not just a specific set of skills, is something that is very valuable. But you definitely want to stay with the business. If you're interviewing for a product role, a sales role, a role on total business side of things, or any specific domain or competency specific role, you definitely want to have your definition slightly molded towards it. So if you're a supply chain specialist, so you definitely want to be able to, and if you have like a very deep insight, if this is something like a third interview in the series of interviews that you're having with that particular company, and you have a fair understanding of what exactly the mandate is, what exactly are the problems facing, then you may want to choose to customize your answer appropriately. Of course, don't change your answer, but just make sure that you're able to contextualize your answer to the specific company. Stay with the business. Don't stay and go on the on the holistic spectrum. Don't go on your family, on your personal life too much. Just make sure that you are balancing that whole thing out meaningfully. Awesome. If you have a very clear role that's identified, that's mandated, and more often than not, that will be. So just make sure that you're able to bring that context in over here. Just be very careful that you understand what the role is. Don't start quoting metrics that you define your success by taking the metric from point A to point B, because that is something you may want to quote or you feel like you want to quote, but you really don't know if the business really wants it, and if that is the metric and that is the baseline and where you want to move. So that's like preempting too much and getting stuck. You might just end up checkmating yourself in such a thing. But just make sure that you give the flavor, you give the understanding to the other person, that you understand what are the true North Star metrics for that particular business or function, and you're able to communicate that part out in the whole interview process. Awesome. Perfect. So I hope this helps with respect to you structuring out what is, how do you define success for yourself. So just make sure that you're bringing in a holistic definition, your personal, professional, health, all the aspects in more and more bias towards the business side of things. This question will come up in a very different way, not a very terribly popular question, but will be asked in different ways. So just make sure that you're ready for it when it comes. Most importantly, have it answered for yourself. Think about this question for yourself. Great. Thank you so much. I hope you found this valuable. You can always find more such content on the website, that is shilotri.com. And I'll see you around. If you have a question, just feel free to ask it in the comments, and I will see to it that I take your question in one of the subsequent episodes. Thanks. Bye.